So let us go through the basics first, and I'll quickly go through the basics and then we'll try some questions based on the formulas. You guys already know that how to plot the graph. So we use x-axis and y-axis. And if I want to plot some points, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to plot, let's say 3, 4. So 3, 4 will be here, 3, 4, and in this case, first number always represents the x coordinate, and the second number always represents the y coordinate. That's by convention. So what exactly is the x coordinate here? So if you connect this point to the x-axis as well as to the y-axis, so what you will see is this distance is 3. So obviously this distance is 3 as well. Similarly, this distance is 4. So what exactly is the x coordinate here? If you see x coordinate means the distance of the point from the y-axis. You don't need to note down anything because the session will be recorded and it will be available to you. So you can just focus on the whiteboard. Similarly, the y coordinate is 4, and it means it's the distance of the point from the x-axis. Okay, so this is a very important concept. X coordinate means distance of the point from y-axis, and y coordinate means distance of the point from the x-axis. So for example, I want to write down the coordinate of, let's say, this point, the first point on the x-axis. Let's say it will be 1, 0. Second point would be 2, 0. This would be 3, 0, and this would be 4, 0. So what is common thing between all of them? That their y coordinate is 0, because y coordinate means distance of the point from the x-axis. Since the point, all these points are on the x-axis, so obviously their distance from the x-axis is 0. That's why we always use y coordinate equal to 0 if the point is on the x-axis. Similarly, the coordinate of this point would be 0, 1, this one 0, 2, 0, 3, and 0, 4. All of these points are on the y-axis, and therefore their x coordinate must be 0 because they are on the y-axis, so their distance from the y-axis is obviously 0. Coordinates of the origin is 0, 0 because the origin is the point of intersection of x-axis and y-axis. So that's why the coordinate of origin is 0, 0. Now the next thing is about equation. Now a lot of people just simply say that equation means something equal to something, or one algebraic expression equal to other algebraic expression. So if I consider y is equal to x plus 3, that's basically an observation, but you need to understand what exactly is the meaning of the equation. And majority of the question in the coordinate geometry, you will see later on that they are linked with this simple concept which you need to understand. So if I draw a line which is y equal to x plus 3, 1, 2, 3. So it will be something like this. Okay. And if I consider any point, for example, this point on the line, which is, let's say 1, 4. Okay. So what is the coordinate, x coordinate of this point? 1. So if I substitute 1 here, I will get 1 plus 3 equals to 4. And this 4 is equal to the y coordinate of this point. What does it mean? It means that this point satisfies this equation. If I take another point, let's say 2, 5. So x coordinate of this point is 2. So if I substitute 2 plus 3 will give me 5, and 5 is equal to the y coordinate of this point. Okay, it means this point is on the line as well. So if I take another point, which is let's say 3, 9, somewhere here. So this time I will substitute x equal to 3 in the equation. So 3 plus 3 will give me 6, and it is not equal to 9, which means that this point is not satisfying this equation. And the reason for that is the point is not on the line. Okay, so only those points which are on the line, they will satisfy the equation, which means if you substitute their x coordinate, you will get an answer equal to the y coordinate of the point. So how will you define equation then? Equation of a line. Now this definition is common for any shape or any graph, whether it is a line or a circle or a parabola, doesn't matter. So the equation of any graph means it is a condition which is true for all the points on the graph. Graph means it can be whatever equation you're talking about, line, circle, or quadratic equation which represent parabola. Okay, so this definition is very important, this concept, and you will see later on a lot of questions are based on simple concept, and unfortunately a lot of students do not apply this concept when they are doing exam questions. Okay, so if you understand the definition of equation, let's take again x-axis and y-axis. X-axis is a line, although you're calling this x-axis, but it represents a line. So there must be an equation of this line. An equation of this line would be y equal to 0. Some of you maybe know that the equation is y equal to 0. But why it is y equal to 0? Because if you consider point on this line, any point on this x-axis, what you will notice that the y coordinate of all these points is 0. So y equal to 0 is a condition which is true for any point on the x-axis. It's a common condition for all of them. Okay, so that's why this represents the equation of x-axis. Similarly, equation of y-axis is x equal to 0, because if you consider any point on the y-axis, its x coordinate would be 0. So it's a common condition for any point on the y-axis. And that is the reason when we do questions like, okay, the graph or the line is passing through x-axis or y-axis, we make these kind of substitution, x equal to 0, y equal to 0, which you will see later on as well, okay, when we do the exact questions. Now, if I draw a line, for example, parallel to the y-axis, but let's say it's passing through point 3. If it is parallel to the y-axis, then the equation of this line would be x equal to 3. So it's a line parallel to the y-axis and it is passing through x equal to 3. So equation should be x equal to 3. And reason is same. If you consider any point on this line, let's say this point is 3, 1. Let's consider this point 3, 2. Next point 3, 3. So you will see their x coordinate is always 3. And that's why the equation of a line parallel to the y-axis is always x equal to constant. Constant means wherever it passes through it. If it passes through, let's say 5, you can say equation is x equal to 5. Similarly, if a line passing through, let's say point 1 here, so you can say the equation of the line is y equal to 1 because it cuts the y-axis at y equal to 1 and it is parallel to the x-axis. Similarly, if it is passing through 2, you can say the equation of this line is y equal to 2. Okay. So these are the important concepts which we are going to use. Now, this is all about the coordinate system. And next thing which we need to study is, again, x-axis, y-axis, let's say. And this time I'm considering 2 points. Let's say the coordinate of this point is x1, y1. Coordinate of this point is x2, y2. Let us connect these 2 points. And let's say this distance is d. I will do little construction here. So I'll just draw a line connecting to the x-axis like this, and one line here. So what is this distance then? This distance would be x1 because the coordinate of, let's call this point A and B. So the x coordinate of point A is x1. So that's why this distance must be x1. Similarly, this distance must be x2. This distance is y1. You can say this distance is y1. So therefore this distance is y1 as well. Similarly, this distance is y2 because the y coordinate of point B is y2. And if you understand all these distances, this distance would be x2 minus x1. And this distance would be y2 minus y1. Okay. Now you need to focus on just this triangle. And what is this triangle? This is a right angle triangle. So I will redraw this triangle here quickly. So what we got is a right angle triangle where this length is y2 minus y1. This length is x2 minus x1, and this angle is obviously 90 degrees. This point is A, this is B, and this distance is D. So if you recall your concepts from junior cert or trigonometry, in a right angle triangle, which theorem is applicable? It's Pythagoras theorem. And using Pythagoras theorem, I can find out the hypotenuse, which is D. So d square equals to x2 minus x1 whole square, which is square of the adjacent side, and then square of the opposite side. And I'm interested in d, not d square, so I'll take square root of both sides. So what you're getting here is called distance formula. So the distance formula which is given in your logbook is nothing but a Pythagoras theorem which you can apply like this. So obviously you need 2 points to find out the distance between or length of any line segment. So you need 2 points, their x coordinate and y coordinate. You can substitute in the formula and get the answer. For example, if one point is 2, 3, other point is 5, 10. So let's call this x1, y1, x2, y2. And then you can use the formula to find out distance between them. So x2 minus x1, which means 5 minus 2 whole square, and y2 minus y1, which means 10 minus 3. Sorry, 10 minus 3 whole square. So 5 minus 2 is 3, 3 square is 9, 10 minus 3 is 7 square is 49, and then you can just work out using the calculator. Okay, so this is how you can find out the distance between them. Then you have other formula which is called midpoint formula. Midpoint formula is required when you have 2 points, again x1 y1 x2 y2, and you want to find out the coordinates of the middle point. What do you mean by middle point? Middle point means which divides the line segment AB into two equal parts. That is, AM should be equal to MB. And I want to find out the coordinates of this point. So I can directly use midpoint formula, which is given in your logbook. And all you need to do is add their x coordinate, divide by 2, and then add their y coordinate and divide by 2. So that's pretty much straightforward. Next thing which you need to study is slope. So what do you mean by slope? Slope is a very common word. For example, you have dining table, center table, and that kind of stuff. So the slope of the table is 0 because it is parallel to the ground. And the ground here means the x-axis. So if something which is not parallel to the ground, we will say, oh, it has a slope, okay, inclined or declining slope. So let's say I have a line passing through origin, and I want to find out the slope of this line. So how will you find out? You need 2 points on the line, doesn't matter. You can take any 2 points, and you draw a line like this, like that, and rise. This is your rise, and this is your run. So the basic formula for finding the slope is rise over run, which is this height, vertical height over horizontal distance, and that will give you the slope. But in coordinate geometry, we hardly use this formula. We use coordinates because generally they will give you 2 points on the line and they ask you to find out the slope. So if you go back to the same diagram again, this one, in this triangle, AB is a line and I want to find out the slope of this line. You can see that the rise, let's call this x2 minus x1 again because this is equal to the side. So the rise is what? Rise is y2 minus y1 and run is x2 minus x1. And therefore, you know that the slope of the line is given by rise over run, and therefore the formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is again given in your logbook. But you can understand from this figure as well that rise is y2 minus y1 and run is x2 minus x1. Slope is denoted by a letter M in your chapter. So whenever they say M, it represents a slope. Now, there are two special cases. There are two special cases. Two lines can be parallel or two lines can be perpendicular. Two lines are parallel, it means their slopes are the same. If two lines are perpendicular, then the product of their slopes must be -1. You can write down like this, or you can write down like that. So for example, if one line has a slope 2, the other line, the slope of the other line should be -1 over 2, which means you flip it and change the sign. Flip it and then change the sign. Okay, for example, if one slope is 3 over 4, so you flip it, this is positive, so this should be negative. So that's the line, that's the slope of the perpendicular line to this. If one slope is -1 over 2, then other should be 2. You flip it and change the sign. Okay, so this is how you can find out the slope. And in the question, if they give you two lines are parallel or perpendicular, So you need to use this condition. And the next important thing is how to find out the equation of a line. So there are two formulas given in your logbook. So you need to understand what's the importance of that. Y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. And the first one is y is equal to mx plus c. So first of all, y equal to mx plus c means if I draw a line like this, m is obviously the slope of this line, which you know how to calculate, and c is called y-intercept. Y-intercept means where the line cuts the y-axis, and the distance of that point from the origin is called y-intercept. So the second formula is y minus y1 equal to mx minus x1, which is basically coming from the same formula. For example, if you start with this y equal to mx plus c, and let's say you know some point on this line which is x1 comma y1, and this point is on the line. So if you go by definition of the equation which I explained you earlier, since this point is on the line, so this point must satisfy this equation, which means if I substitute y equal to y1, x equal to x1, then I should get the same answer for left hand side and right hand side. If you subtract these two, what will happen? C will cancel, and on the left hand side you will get y minus y1. On the right hand side you will get mx minus mx1, and if you take m common, you will get x minus x1. That's your formula there. Now when to use first formula and when to use the second formula. So you need to understand this. Whenever they ask you to find the equation, we use this formula. And what you need for this formula, you need a point and slope. These are the two things you require whenever you want to find out equation of a line. So in the question, if they say find out equation of the line, you should be focusing on whether I know the point, whether I know the point and slope or not. So if I know point x1 y1, if I know the slope, I can get the equation. Okay. Now what's the use of this formula then? 99% chance that they will not ask you to find out the equation based on y is equal to mx plus c. Okay. So when to use this formula, I'll explain you with a simple example. They will say there is a line 3x plus 2y equals to 5. This is equation of the line, and you can see that why it is equation of the line, because the power of x and y is 1. So it's a linear equation. So linear always represent equation of a line. And if I ask you what's the slope of the line, you don't know the points now. So the slope formula which you learned earlier is this one, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But you cannot use this formula here because you don't know the points. What you know is the equation of the line. So the second way, this is the first way or first method which you can use to find the slope. And the second method is you can use y is equal to mx plus c. But this equation is not written in the form of y equal to mx plus c. What do you mean by y equal to mx plus c form? Y equal to mx plus c form means on the left hand side you should have y and everything else on the other side. Okay, everything else should be on the other side. So let's manipulate this. So I will say 2y equal to minus 3x plus 5 because I'm moving 3x to the other side. And then I need to divide by 2 because the coefficient of y in the formula is 1. So this has to be 1. So I need to divide everything by 2. And now you can compare this equation with your formula, and you can say that the slope is minus 3 over 2. Okay. So if they give you the equation of a line and you want slope out of that, you can use y is equal to mx plus c form, and you can compare at the end, and whatever is the coefficient of x, that's the slope of the line. Now, a lot of it looks simple, but a lot of students make silly mistakes here. So if I write some equation like, let's say this, they will directly say, okay, the slope is 5. No, you cannot say directly the slope is 5 until unless you change this into this form, because you can see that the coefficient of y is not 1, it's 3. So you have to properly convert this into this form. Make sure that the coefficient is 1, so you divide by 3, and then you can see that the slope is minus 5 over 3, not 5 at all. Okay, so just to be careful. So this is how you can find out the equation of the line. And now we will try some exam questions. Okay, so I hope nobody has any trouble with the audio or anything. Somebody is suggesting probability. Yeah, sure. We'll go topic by topic and you can vote for that. Okay, everybody's okay with the voice and whiteboard? Okay. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, that's the thing with the online session. You have to make sure everything is okay. So these are your past paper questions, and these are all based on coordinate geometry. So I'll start one by one. I will zoom it. Okay. Yeah. So let's do this. This is, I don't know which paper is that, but I think it's 2000, I think probably 11. Doesn't matter. So you need to understand the concept. So the question is, in the coordinate diagram shown the lines J, K, and L. So you can see that J, K, and L, they are parallel lines. And lines M and N, they are also parallel. The equations of 4 of the 5 lines, so total there are 5 lines, but they only give you 4 equations. So I'll write down the equations here. They give you x plus 2y equal to minus 4, 2x minus y equal to minus 4, x plus 2y equal to 8, 2x minus y equal to 2. But you need to match which equation represents which line. So how will you proceed with this question? And what's an idea? Okay. So first of all, because they give you two lines, let's say M and N, they are parallel, and L is parallel to K, parallel to J, let's say, isn't it? Let's make two separate categories. Okay. So the best way to approach this question is find out the slope of each of the line. And you can see that none of the lines are written in standard form. When I say standard form, I mean to say y is equal to mx plus c. And you can see that in order to find out the slope, you don't have the point. So what's the second option? Y is equal to mx plus c. So let us convert each of the equation into y plus mx plus c form. And it's very quick once you know the concept. So 2y equals to minus x minus 4, and y is equal to minus 1 over, sorry, minus 1 over 2x, and then minus 2. Okay, so I'm dividing everything by 2. So this is one line. Second is 2x minus y equals to minus 4. So I can write down this as y equal to 2x plus 4. So I'm moving this to this side and this to this side. Okay. Okay. That's second line. And then x plus 2y equals to 8. So 2y equal to minus x plus 8. So again, you need to divide by 2. Minus 1 over 2 x plus 8 over 2 is 4. And then the last one is 2x minus y equal to 2. So y equal to 2x minus 2. Okay. So what you can see, that these two lines are parallel to each other and these two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, so you got two separate slopes. One slope is minus half and other slope is 2. Now, how will you compare with the pairs of the line it is given? So all you need to do is you need to say that, okay, this is negative slope, isn't it? Minus half means negative slope, and negative slope means it should be like this. The line should be like this, and this is a positive slope. Both of them have positive slope, so your line should look like this. So which pair of the lines are looking like that? So with a negative slope, so L, J, and K, they have negative slopes, isn't it? And M, N, they have positive slopes. Okay, so that is one thing. So you know that out of L, J, K, these are the two lines which represent either L, J, or K, isn't it? And M and N should be represented by these two lines, which is y is equal to 2x plus 4, y equal to 2x minus 2. Now, but you need to further narrow down. Then you see the intercept here. What is called, what do we call this? Y-intercept. So y-intercept is plus 4 here and minus 2 here. So if you look at minus 2, which line has the negative y-intercept? It's L. You can see out of LJK, L is crossing the y-axis from the negative side, isn't it? So we got our first equation. So this is line L. Okay. And the second one is plus 4. So is it line J or K? It's plus 4. Plus 4 means if you see that line K and line L, they are equidistant from the origin. So this cannot be line K. It should be line J because the intercept is plus 4, not plus 2. Okay. So we got our second line. So this is line J. And definitely there is no equation representing line K. Okay. Because we had only two options which was giving us negative slope. So line K is gone. Okay. Now you have two left here. So one represents M, one represents 2. So again, you have to go by the same logic. This is positive 4. So which one is passing through positive y-axis? It's line M. So line M. Okay. And obviously this is passing through negative y-axis because of this negative y-intercept. So this is line N. Okay. So how I did this analysis? I analyzed all this based on slope and y-intercept. Okay. This is how you need to check. But before you check, you have to make sure that these equations are written in the form of y equal to mx plus c. Then only you can find out what is slope, what is y-intercept. So for slope also you need to check whether it is positive and negative, and for y-intercept also you need to check it is positive or negative, and then you can make a judgment, okay, whether it is passing through y-axis on the positive side or on the negative side, and then you can decide which one is which. Okay, so this is very important question, and there are multiple times they ask this type of question. Now the next part of this question is, hence insert scales on the x-axis and y-axis. What do you mean by scales? Scale means they are talking about, so what do you mean by scale of the graph? So scale of the graph means you take division like 1, 2, 3. So this is called scale. So they are asking you to write down the scale, because at the moment you can see there is no number. So which is very straightforward now, because I'm just doing rough graph at the moment. So the line L is passing like this, isn't it? And if you go back and you see line L has a -2 slope, sorry, -2 y-intercept. So this must be -2. This point must be -2. Okay. Similarly, this point be +2, and there should be another point here 4. And which one is passing through 4? It's line J. So you got your scale here. Okay. So that's, you can call this 1, 2, and then this is 3. And similarly, you can draw the other lines as well. So let's say line K is passing through 2. So line K is passing through 2, but you don't know where it is passing through. So if you go back to line J has -1/2 slope. Okay, so it doesn't matter, you just have to write down the scale here. So main thing is it's passing through 2, this is passing through 4, and this is passing through -2. And for the other line, it's passing through like this. So that's your N. Okay, and this is passing through that, something like this. So that's your M. Okay. Okay. Hence, find the equation of the remaining line given that its x-intercept and y-intercepts are both integers. Remaining line means it's line K. That's the only line, isn't it? So this is line K. So you already know that line K is passing through 2. So equation is y is equal to mx plus c. And this line K is parallel to other lines, line L and J. And you already know that the slope of line L and J is -1/2. So the slope of this should be -1/2 as well. Okay. So y is equal to -1/2 x plus c. C means y-intercept, which is 2. So this way you can find out the equation of line K. Okay. You already know that this line is parallel to the other two lines, so the slope must be same. And the y-intercept is 2 because it's passing through 2. That's the idea behind this question. Okay, let's pick another one. So I'm not going to do this, but the logic is same. So they can give you a number of lines with equations like this, and you need to match again which one is which. Okay, based on slope, based on point, based on equal intercept and all. So pretty much similar question. Okay, now let's do this question. Let me see, anybody has any question? -2x -2. -2, the last one should be -2x -2. Let me go back. Last one is -2x -2. So in this case, no, this is correct because I'm moving y to this side. So that will give you plus y, and I'm moving 2 to this side. That's why it is 2x -2. Okay, so I'm correct. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's go back. Okay. Okay, so let's do this question. The line RS, so good thing is they already gave you the diagram, okay? And they give you all the information, for example, the coordinate of S, and so let me draw this quickly. So that's point E, that's S, 0, 10, that's origin, that's R, okay? So first draw this. This is obviously x-axis and y-axis. And they also give you the area of this triangle, okay? Oops. So they give you the area of this triangle, okay? And this area is 125 over 3. Now, what they want? First question is, find the coordinates of point R. I want to find out this, okay? So let us understand how to approach questions, not only in coordinate geometry, in mathematics in general, I'm saying. Always write down what is given. So they give you area, which is 125 over 3. They give you this point, which is 0, 10. What do you mean by 0, 10? 0, 10 means this height is 10. Okay. Area is 125 over 3. So I know two things. Okay. Area and point S. I want to find out the coordinate of R. So now you have to use the concepts which I explained you at the start. And now you will see why it is important instead of just going through the formulas and approaching the question. Okay. So this point is on the x-axis. Okay. So first of all, let's imagine this length is A. We don't know what it is, but let's say A. So the coordinate of this point R should be A comma 0. Why? Because this point is on the x-axis. Okay. Now, this is all given, and obviously they won't give you something without any reason. So I already use this to to know the height of the triangle, which is 10, and I want to use this now, which is area. So what's the connection between area and the sides? So the area of triangle is given by half base multiplied by height, which is the very important formula. Okay, and common as well. So you already know this formula, and since they are talking about this area, so you should use this formula. Area is 125 over 3, which is given, half base, we don't know. So let's call this A, and height I already know, which is 10. Based on that, I can get the value of A. How to get it? So 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then I'm dividing both sides by 5. So what will happen? You will get A equal to 125 divided by 5 is 25. So 25 divided by 3. That's the value of A. Okay. But that's the length. A is a length. So that's why you got a positive answer. However, because the point R is on the left side, so you should say the coordinate of point R is minus 25 over 3 comma 0. Now they deduct marks if you don't write like this. Let's say if you just write 25 over 3 comma 0, they will deduct maybe 1 marks for this. Okay, so based on the marking scheme. So that's the answer for R. So how we did it? We used the area which is given. Okay, let's do the next part of this question. Show that the point E is on the line RS. Now, RS means line passing through R and S. So you know 2 points. And what they're saying, show that point E. So point E is on this line, which is minus 5 over 4. You need to prove it that the point E is on this line. Again, the concept of equation. What is the concept of equation? Concept of equation is whatever is the equation of this line or S, if point E is on the line, then it must satisfy its equation. But the problem here is you don't know the equation, isn't it? So one way of doing this question is you can get the equation. For example, so I'll give you two approach how to do this question. There are two methods. You can do both ways or either ways. So one way is I need to get the equation first, and before I get the equation I need to get the slope. So what's the formula for the slope? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and I know 2 points on the line, so I'm just calling this as x1 y1, x2 y2, this as x2 y2. So 10 minus 0 over 0 minus of minus 25 over 3. Okay, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what you will get, 10 over 25 over 3, which means 5 to the 10, 5 is the 25, and 3 is in the denominator of the denominator, so it will be multiplied on the top. So which means 6 over 5 is the answer. That's the slope of this line. And now how to get the equation? Y minus y1 y minus okay, y minus y1 equals to m x minus x1. So you can choose y1, x1, any number, doesn't matter. So I'll use the simple one. You can use any coordinates because all of them are on the line. So you can use any one, this one, R or S, doesn't matter. You will get the same answer. So I'm using this as x1, y1, so because it's simple as compared to the fraction, you know. So y minus 10, m. I got m, which is 6 over 5, and then x minus 0. So y minus 10 equals to 6x over 5. Okay. Now you don't need to simplify this. You can leave it like that. So that's the equation of or S. But what they are asking you to prove it? They are asking you to prove that point E is on this line. So use the concept. So what is the value of, so let's use the left hand side, y minus 10. What's the value of y for coordinate E, for point E? 4. So 4 minus 10 will give you minus 6. Okay. Right hand side. What is right hand side? 6x over 5. So 6 times x. X means minus 5 over 5. So this will give you minus 6 as well. So you can see that left hand side equal to right hand side. And this means E is on the line or S. Okay. So we got the equation of the line using 2 points. So obviously you need to find out the slope first, and then you can use this formula. You get the equation, and then whatever point you want to verify whether it is on the line or not, you substitute in the equation, and then your left hand side should be equal to right hand side. Okay, all good. Now, what is the second way of doing it? What's the second concept you can apply? I have R here, E here, and S here. Okay. I want to prove that. Let's write down the coordinates. Minus 25 over 3, comma 0. And this is 0, comma 10. Okay. I don't want to get the equation, let's say. I just want to prove it that E is on the line. Okay. So another way of proving is that the slope of RE should be equal to slope of ES, because it doesn't matter which, until unless they are all on the same line, it should give you the same slope for the line. Okay. So slope we can find out using R and S. So what is the formula? Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So 4 minus 0 over minus 5, and then it's already minus, so it will change to plus 25 over 3. So this will give me the slope of RE. What would be the slope of ES? It would be 10 minus 4 over 0 plus 5. So let us simplify. Let's see what we get. Oh, so 4 minus 0 is 4, and minus 5 plus 25 over 3 will give you 10 over 3. This is 6 over 5. Okay, so 2 2s are 4, 2 5s are 10, and this 3 will be multiplied on the top. So 6 over 5, 6 over 5. Okay, so you got the same slope. It means E is on this line. Okay, imagine if E is not on the line, what will happen? You will get the different slope, isn't it? So if let's say R and S is here, E is somewhere here, so obviously slope of RE should be different from ES in that case, isn't it? So this will automatically prove that E is not on the line. But in this case, because the slopes are same, it means E is on the line. So this is another way of proving that the point is on the line. Obviously, if they give you the equation, so it's best way to do that is just substitute the point. But you don't have the equation, so that's why you have to find out this way. Okay. So both concepts are important because it depends on the question. Sometimes first approach is good, sometimes second approach is good. Okay, so the next part, a second line y equal to mx plus c passes through the point E and again makes a triangle of area 125 over 3. Find the value of m and c. So basically they are saying, let's say this is the original diagram. Now they're saying there is another line which is passing through E, okay, and again makes a triangle of area 125 over 3 with the x-axis and y-axis. So how will you draw this line first of all, which must pass through E, and it will make the same area. Okay, so one way is I can draw a line something like this. So first you need to check where it forms a triangle, isn't it? So it forms a triangle. Here. This is the right angle triangle, isn't it? And they are saying that the area, they are saying that the area of this triangle is again 125 over 3. So how will you find out value of m and c? Okay, so same concept. Y is equal to mx plus c. That's the equation, isn't it? First of all, you know that this line is passing through minus 5 over 4. This is what you know. Okay, so I can say y is equal to mx plus c, and point E is on this line, so this must satisfy this equation, which means 4 equals to m times minus 5. Okay, x is minus 5, y is 4 plus c. So this will give me minus 5m plus c equals to 4. So in mathematics, if you have two unknowns like m and c, you need two equations. Two unknowns okay, wait a second. Yeah, so two unknowns means you need two equations in mathematics in general. Okay, so since you have two unknowns m and c, so you need two equations in m and c so that you can solve it and get the value of m and c. So you got one equation which is minus 5m plus c equal to 4. How will you get the other equation? Other equation we can get it using this area. Okay, so you already know that c is y-intercept, which is this, isn't it? So let's call this c, and what's this point and what's this point? So how will you get it? So area is 125 over 3 equals to half, base we don't know, and let's keep c as it is. So you will get base equals to 2 multiplied by 125 2 multiplied by 125 will give you 250 over 3 c. Okay, that's the value of this base. So the coordinate of this point okay, wait a second, sorry, it's a little bit slow. Okay, okay, so I'm saying the coordinates for the point is minus 250 over 3c comma 0, isn't it? This is the point where it cuts the x-axis. So you got another point using the area. So y is equal to mx plus c again, and you can use this point. So what is the value of m? Minus 250 over 3c. mx, sorry, x is minus 250 over c, 3c, and then plus c, and what is the value of y? 0. Okay, so let us solve this. So what was your first equation? First equation was minus 5m plus c equal to 4. I'll write down here minus 5m plus c equals to 4. So what is the value of let's say 5m equals to c minus 4. So m equals to c minus 4 over 5. Okay, so that's the value of m in terms of c using the first equation, and then you can substitute in the second equation which you got. So 0 equals to m. M means c minus 4 over 5. And this is minus 250 over 3c. And then plus c. So all you need to do is solve this equation. So you can see that you just have variable c in this. So I'll simplify this. That will give you 50. So 0 equal to minus 50 c minus 4 over 3c plus c. I will multiply everything by, let's say, 3c. So this will be 0. This would be minus 50c minus 4. And I'm multiplying by 3c. So this becomes 3c square. Okay. So what you're getting is quadratic. 3c square minus 50c plus 5 for the 20. So 200 equals to 0. Okay. And I presume you know how to solve this. So this will give you the value of c. You can use minus b formula if you want. Okay. So using minus b formula in quadratic equation, you can get the value of c. And once you get c, you can substitute in the previous equation to get the value of n. Okay. So that's the idea behind this question. Okay, I have some question here. If m is positive, then the slope must be positive, but your line is negative. M is positive. If m is positive. So you are saying m is positive. Well, m means slope. Yes, you're correct. If the slope is positive, then the line is shows the inclined graph, isn't it? That's the question. So let's go back to this one. I'll show you. Okay. Now, the question was based on this. Yes. At the moment, they just ask you find the value of m and c. Okay. There are multiple possibilities here. That's a very good question, actually, which you need to understand. They are asking you for the value of m and c. Do you know whether m is positive or negative at this stage? No, because there are multiple possibilities, isn't it? So you can consider any one possibility and you can find out the value of m and c. It will automatically give you multiple answers. Okay. So for example, this is one way of sketching the line which is passing through E, and it forms a triangle as well. But there could be another way. For example, I can draw a line, something like this. Okay. And this will give me a triangle as well. Okay. So there are multiple possibilities where line which they mention in the question is passing through E, and it makes a triangle with the x-axis and y-axis. Okay. So in this type of question, they did not specify whether the slope okay, they said here m and c are positive. Okay, yes, you're right, but doesn't matter. You can use any preconditions. Okay. And if you see at the end, you will automatically get two answers. For example, when you solve this equation, you will get the value of c. You will get two answers, isn't it? Let's call this c1 and c2. And these c1 and c2 you will use in this equation, which is m equal to c minus 4 over 5. M equal to c minus 4 over 5. Let me, okay. M equal to c minus 4 over 5. So once you solve this quadratic, you will get two answers. One is c1, one is c2, let's say. And then you will substitute in this equation one by one. So what will happen? You will get two answers. One may be positive, one may be negative. So whatever is the positive answer, that is the answer for your question here. And you can just ignore the negative answer because they said at the start it's positive. But that is not going to change or reduce your calculation for this question, because you will make equations and automatically you will get two answers. Okay, so is that the this is what you were asking, Anna? Yes. Okay, so you need to follow the same process, and you don't know, let's say for example, you don't know what is positive or negative, whether M is positive or negative, even you don't know whether C is positive or negative. In that case, you will automatically get the right answer. Okay, you just ignore the other answer which is not valid. Okay, so let's try this question. This is also important. Question 3, and probably this is from 2015 paper. So the thing with maths is, even if you do 5 questions, okay, let's say exam type of question, and if you understand the concept, you can do any question in coordinate geometry. So that's basically a smart work. But if you're doing 5 questions and just memorizing, okay, I need to do this and that and get the answer, then you are not actually doing maths, you're doing memory game. Okay, so that's why you have to understand the concept which we are using here. So the coordinates of 2 points, they give you already 4, -1 and 7, t. And there's a line L1, and they give you the equation of this line already, 3x minus 4y minus 12 equal to 0. And this line L1 is perpendicular to AB. So as I said, always write down what is given in the question. Now what they want? They want the value of t. Okay, so you have 2 points, you have one equation L1, and you know that this line is perpendicular to this. So immediately try to understand based on what is given. They said 2 lines are perpendicular, and when you see 2 perpendicular lines, there is only one single concept which applies to perpendicular lines, and the concept is the slopes. If you multiply the slopes, it should give you -1. So all you need to do is find out slope of AB, find out slope of L1, multiply and put it equal to -1, and that will give you one equation, and you can solve for t. That's the logic. So let's find out slope of AB first. In case of AB, I know the points, so I can directly use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'll get t plus 1, because this is already minus, so it will change to plus, over 7 minus 4. So I will get t plus 1 over 7 minus 4 is 3. That's the slope of AB. Slope of line L1. Now I don't have the points. So what's the second way of finding the slope? Second way of finding the slope is using y is equal to mx plus c, because I know the equation. So I just change this into y is equal to mx plus c form, which means I should move 4y to the other side. So 4y equals to 3x minus 12. And then you need to divide by 4 everything. So I got the slope. So slope of L1 is equal to 3 over 4. I got two slopes and both are perpendicular. So 3 over 4 multiplied by t plus 1 over 3 should be equal to -1. So how many unknowns were there? 1. How many equations do you need? 1. You got it. So cancel whatever you can cancel. 3 and 3 gone. So t plus 1 equals to -4. Three and 3 cancel. T plus 1 equals to 4 multiplied by -1. Oops, sorry. Okay, sorry, wait a second. T plus 1 equals to minus 4. So T equal to minus 4 minus 1. Okay. So T equal to minus 5. That's the answer for this. Okay. Let me see if you have any question. Okay. So, oops. Okay. So the next question is find in terms of K the distance between the point P and L1. Okay, so that's a different formula. So I'm just skipping this question at the moment because we haven't done that formula. And this is also different formula. So that's first question is fine. Find the equation of the line through point P which is perpendicular to AC. Okay, so let's do this question. So ABC, they give you 3 points. 6 minus 2, 5 comma 3, minus 3 comma 4. Find the equation of the line through point B which is perpendicular to AC. So there is a line. So let me just draw the triangle, something like this. This is C, this is B, this is A. So they said the equation of the line through B but perpendicular to AC. So something like this. So that's 90 degree. Okay. So it is passing through B but perpendicular to AC. Now you want equation. Okay. Well, as I explained you earlier, whenever you want equation, you need to use this formula. And for this formula, what you need a point and the slope. You already have the point. Which point you will take here? Point B, because the line is passing through point B. So point B means 5 comma 3. So x minus 5 here, m we don't know, y minus 3. Okay. We don't know the slope now. How will you find out the slope? So they give you the condition that the line is perpendicular to AC. So we will find out slope of AC because we don't know 2 points on the line. We just have 1 point which is B. Okay. So that's why you have to find out slope of AC first. So slope of AC would be 4 plus 2 over minus 3 minus 6. So 4 plus 2 is 6 and this will give you minus 9. So you can simplify. It will give you minus 2 over 3. Okay. So slope of AC is minus 2 over 3. But we are not interested in slope of AC. We are interested in slope of line perpendicular to AC. So you can say slope of the required line equals to, flip it and change the sign. So 3 over 2. And this value you substitute back to this formula and you will get the equation of the line. That's it. So y minus 3 equals to 3 over 2 x minus 5. And then you know how to simplify this. Okay. So I think there are a couple of different formulas left now. One is called the perpendicular distance formula, which is very important. And perpendicular distance formula is very important. And there are a couple of questions about centroid and orthocenter. So which we can cover next time. So I can take maybe a question or a doubt if you have. Let me stop